Hello, 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 and happy Sunday. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, a mom and a wife. And in case you're wondering, you are watching Joanne's Healing Within. I am super, super, super excited to be here with each and every one of you today. And I hope you are too. Today is an amazing show. I always get super excited and a little nervous when I bring on guests and volunteers to demonstrate healing because this is all for you. These episodes that for you, they're literally created with you in mind to help you find another avenue to heal mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So, and that's what today's show is all about. But before I dive into today's show, there's lots of housekeeping to do. To start off with, I'd like to remind you to share, like, and comment on today's show. I want you to also put in the comments where you're watching from. Are you watching from Queens, Brooklyn? Where are you? Because I'm kind of curious on how far out my show goes. So put that in the comments and remember to share this out. Let your friends know that today is the day that they want to be watching. Because like I said, I have an amazing guest and volunteer coming on to demonstrate a healing for you in mind. Now that that's done, let's dive into our advertising sponsors for today because there's a whole lot of them that keep the show running, helping me go through. And I'm going to start off with Joe Monkman. He's our shamanic healer, practitioner, and health and wellness advocate. Excuse me. Then we have CJ Ives Lopez, who is the founder of the Author's Porch. Kitty and Amy Martin, it's Kimmy Foss and Amy Martin for that matter, who are the hosts of Intuition of Your Souls. The throat, I tell you. Kendra Greer, our amazing, amazing astrologer. And then we also have Lisa Nice, who's our physical therapist, and Mary Kay, consultant. Gabriella, which unfortunately I always say her name wrong, so I don't say it at all. She's our medical intuitive and also the founder of Alive Health Solution. And then we also have, which I always say for last, the guest and volunteer. We have Dr. Terry Morse, who is the doctor of natural medicine. She's our guest today. And Nick Rafter, who is our real estate agent. He's going to help you find your best home, rent and sell for that matter. And he's also a writer, an editor, and also a journalist. So definitely reach out. And today's show is all about body frequency analysis and healing. So like I said, today is really about you today. It's about how you can tap into another way to heal whatever's going on in your life, whether it's digestion issues or back pain, shoulder discomforts, maybe you have a cough, maybe you get migraines, whatever it is, this is a show you definitely want to stay tuned with and find out how you can go about healing in a different manner or in addition to Western medicine. With that being said, I want to dive into some cosmic energy for today. I always like to keep you attuned to what's going on in the cosmic world. And interesting enough, right before I came on today, I was checking to see where our planets were, where the moon is, and decided that rather than talking about the moon's energy today, although it's important, but what I really think is important today is to know that Mercury has literally, as of today, just moved into Taurus energy. Now, what does that mean? In case you're not familiar with what Mercury does, our planet of Mercury is all about communication, scheduling, technology, and also traveling. And when we think about Taurus energy, Taurus is about the physical and the material possessions that we all have. We all have physical material possessions that perhaps we have a hard time getting rid of. And being that it's now that Taurus and Mercury are connected together right now, this is going to give us an opportunity to become more aware of communication. How do we feel about certain things around us, our material possessions, and then the physical relationships we have with people and those material possessions for that matter, and who they were given by. Like, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I was chatting about my physical possessions and having this huge what do they call it, knickknack cabinet that I put all my knickknacks in. And I keep looking at that cabinet and keep asking myself, is this something I really need to keep holding on to? Because anytime we have knickknacks, material possessions for that matter, it takes up energy and space. And that energy could be clogging up my energy field. The same way, whereas if you have something in your home that hasn't been moved in a really long time, that might be taking up energy space within yourself, which may be causing some of your physical ailments that might be showing up, the physical symptoms, such as, stiff, stuffy nose, maybe you have a cough, because again, when things just sit stagnantly, it creates dust. And that dust is what we're breathing in. So something to think about, and it's going to be probably on your mind now that Mercury has landed into Taurus energy. And I also want to just give you a heads up, and do not have the exact date in front of me, but because Mercury is now in Taurus, make note that we are going to be getting ready for a Mercury retrograde, because we haven't had one in a little while. And the next one to come in is when it's in Taurus. So make note, I'll be talking more about that and how to manage through that retrograde when it does happen. So with that being said, I want to pull one card and get us ready for today's show, and how you can really navigate through today's show with clearing one chakra, and see what affirmation shows up for today. So take a breath, exhale that breath, become attuned to your own body. And our card for today, again, this is going to give you information based on a word that's going to provide an affirmation to raise your vibration, and perhaps it might add to your story in your journey. The chakra is going to be the thing we're going to focus on to clear some energy, and the number is going to provide a hidden message and also align to astrology. So our card's in reverse. Interesting that it shows up in reverse, and interesting that the affirmation is new relationship. So perhaps today's show might actually help you have a new relationship with yourself, and also with Mercury moving into Taurus energy, this may actually help you develop a new relationship with the material and physical possessions that you do own. The root chakra is what we're going to focus on today, getting grounded so you can focus and be more in that balance of your mind, body, and spirit. 2 and 8 works out to be 10. So this is really, when we think of that 10 energy, it's associated with Capricorn in astrology, the 10th house, what you are here to achieve, your success, your awards, maybe trophies for that matter. As I stare out my window and see all my trophies in my front window, also the material possessions as well. That 10 energy is also associated recognizing the one about a new beginning. So Mercury in Taurus may actually lead us into a new beginning, traveling into a new beginning, traveling to meet new friends. But remember, the card's in reverse. So it is really about connecting with new relationships. And maybe those new relationships are with the same people, but having a different relationship with them overall. So that is our card for today. The root chakra is what we're going to be working on. And with all that being said, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And when I get back, I'm going to have my amazing guest here to start with this healing demonstration with you in mind. I'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Terry Morse. Knowledge is power. I teach people how to use natural healing, microbes, frequencies, and sound therapy to revitalize their bodies. Do you have symptoms or disease? Why not get rid of them? Why not maximize your potential? My doctorate is in natural medicine. I've been in clinical practice for over 25 years. I can help you. Contact me at terry@morsewellness.com.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. And before I dive into my guest for today, just want to just give you a recap of what took place in the first 9 minutes of today's show, just in case you weren't here. But before I do, remember to like, share, and comment on today's show. Our card today is in reverse, which means we have to pay attention to the message. And also it's really important to focus on your root chakra because that might be a little sluggish today. Although I think with today's show, it may help you out with that. The affirmation is new relationship. So I do also think with today's show, you may actually tap into a new relationship with self. Currently, Mercury has moved into Taurus energy, helping us to activate into our physical and material possessions. So be mindful of that. That Q&A is all about the work that you're here to do in this lifetime, serving your most higher self. So with all that being said, I am super excited for today's show. As I mentioned in my introductory, today is a day where we're doing a healing demo. This is not just about focusing on the one person. It's a healing demo, which is actually going to help each and every one of you gain access to another way to heal, in addition to Western medicine, or perhaps maybe even replacing Western medicine. Am I allowed to say that? I'm allowed to say that. Yes, I am. So our title for today is Body Frequency Analysis and Healing. And who's going to be demonstrating this amazing healing today is our amazing, amazing guest, Dr. Terry Morse. Terry, would you mind introducing yourself and letting our audience know exactly what's going to take place today?
Well, thank you, Joanne. It's just such a real pleasure to be with you every single time. So I have a couple of doctorates in natural medicine and in humanitarian services through the World Organization of Natural Medicine. And my husband and I had a clinic for almost 25 years and established the first wellness clinic in Louisiana. So we have had a certain amount of success, but I've been in the field for about 50 years. So there's a lot of experience there. And I call myself a health educator, even though I have the 2 doctorates, because what's really important to me is to make sure that people understand how the body works. That's my mission, to help people understand how their own body works and how the body works in general. So I have 3 specialties, and that would be I'm a frequency specialist, I'm a functional analysis specialist, and a microcirculation specialist. And I'd like to just for a minute poke into each one of those things. With a frequency specialist, what I do is work with various frequency devices that are very powerful and very cutting edge in today's world. And we can identify, based on technology that started with Tesla back in the 1890s, exactly what's happening in the body. And we can correct it with frequencies. And it's so much more effective than what we know as conventional medicine in our world today. So the microcirculation specialty has to do with restoring a specific function of the body, and that is the vasomotion or the microcirculatory system. And I have devices that help to restore that in 8 minutes. It's pretty amazing. And then I haven't even told you about that one, Joanne.
Uh-oh. Sounds like another show.
Then a functional analysis specialty, which is that I really am skilled in identifying through devices and my own testing the mental and emotional imbalances in a person, the structural imbalances, the functional imbalances in the organs, and how all the systems work together. And in the medical field, they call it functional medicine, but I'm prohibited from using the word medicine because I'm not an MD. So you know how that goes.
Yes.
So that's
exactly.
Yep. So that's the background, and I'm really grateful that I can work with you, Nick, today. May I just go right into my session with him then?
Well, before we do that, let's just introduce Nick, where many of our audience know Nick already because he's been on the show more times than I can count. Nick Rafter here. And Nick Rafter, if you don't mind, just giving us maybe a sentence or two of what it is you do.
Oh, I work in real estate and I work in copy editing.
Awesome.
My list, and that's what I do.
Excellent. So yes, just as Terry was just about to dive in, so I'm gonna basically turn the floor over to Terry so she can begin sharing with you what she's about to do regarding today's demonstration. And at some point or another, I will, of course, come back. I mean, I'm not going to disappear, but I will come back and dive into when we will be taking our next commercial break. But Terry, the floor is yours. Dive into it. And for our audience, put your comments in if you have any comments as this is taking place. And we'll do our best to, I'll do my best as the demonstration is taking place to answer the comments as they show up. So Terry, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. And thank you, Nick, for participating. I really appreciate this. And you were gracious enough to fill out an application for me, so I know a little bit about you. And I know that you have some symptoms that are really up in your face that you'd like to get rid of. I think specifically, if I'm correct about that, fatigue is one of your primary issues, and cracks that are very painful in the bottom of your feet, and possibly some overeating and high blood pressure. That is a big one for you, right?
Yeah, those are the primary problems, I think.
Okay. And you're taking medications for blood pressure, is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So having said that, before we dive, for the audience, what I'll be doing is diving into a frequency scan with Nick, and we will be able to identify very specifically through hundreds, over up to 120,000 frequencies we will run on him in a matter of minutes. And what does that mean? That means that there are ideal frequencies that are projected through a device that I have here that will go to Nick through his smartphone, and they will go to his body, and they will identify specifically how his body is reacting to those ideal or blueprint frequencies. And the level of resistance, let's say, will be numerically evaluated. And then I will be able to send the healing frequencies that are opposing that resistance to bring your body back into balance, Nick. So before I get into that, and I'll explain it a little bit more when we get there, but that's where we're heading. Before we get into that, I'd like to just talk with you a little bit, Nick, about your symptoms and what I know from my background and all my training as to some possible causes that may not have been addressed in your previous work with other health professionals. I understand you've had some phenomenal results working with Joanne in the past. Am I right, Nick?
Yeah, and other issues that we've worked through: knee pain, anxiety.
So do you still have knee pain then, Nick?
I don't, and it's actually really interesting because nobody medically can explain why it disappeared.
Are we surprised?
We'll call it Joanne's magic, but actually everything is frequencies. Even our voices are frequencies, colors are frequencies, and many people listening today know that. I'll be talking about sound therapy and color therapy as we go along, but everything is frequency. Our thoughts are frequency, our emotions are frequency. I'd like to give an example, and I'd like to start out with this, Nick, of water. Everyone knows that water is H2O, but we often don't remember, but we know that water also is steam. H2O is steam, and it's also ice. So H2O has 3, and some people say 4 forms. We won't go into the 4th one today, but it's a matter of a difference in frequency. So when we have steam and we can lower the frequency of the steam, in other words, cool it down, we get water. And we can when we lower the frequency of water, cool it down, we get ice. And so the parallel I'm making is to our thoughts, our emotions, and our physical body. And I want to set that up because a lot of what I do has to do with shifting the frequencies in the thoughts and in the emotion. And that is done through the scan that I'm going to demonstrate today. And then it affects the physical body. And it's really amazing. And very few of us recognize it. Maybe we do, we just don't think about it, is that when we speak, how we speak translates into an experience for the listener. And we can have our voice very soft, or we can have it really high and piercing. And these differences in frequency affect people differently. And so we're going to actually analyze your voice today, Nick. You're going to speak for 10 seconds, and we'll have an opportunity to scan that in the device, which is called an AO scanner. And it will identify for you what thoughts and emotions are most prevalent in you that are affecting your physical body. But before we get to that, which is the most exciting part, I do want to give you the benefit of some of what I already know. So does that make sense to you so far, Nick?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. You're letting me talk on and on, but kind of that's what I'm going to do here. So your fatigue, Nick, you know, it's a very important thing to recognize that fatigue, unless a person isn't getting enough sleep, is due to either eating the wrong foods or an infection. And everybody says, well, I'm not sick, so I don't have an infection. That is totally not true. That is a really important thing to understand. Every one of us carries what's called subclinical infections in our bodies. And these are infectious states, frequencies, and often literally organisms that are in our bodies that are not activated, let's just say. But they're there, and they may be activated on a low level that you don't identify as sickness. So you're going about saying, I'm good, because many of us have had an experience of going to a medical doctor and saying, look, I've got this symptom and that symptom. And they say, oh, you're fine. All your tests are clear. You go home and you say, what the heck? What am I going to do? I still have these symptoms. I'm not well. And so what that is subclinical infections. So I can tell you from everything I know, Nick, several things about you just right now. You have severe mineral deficiencies, and this will be validated by the scans that we're going to do. You have mineral deficiencies, and you possibly have a serious excess of one particular mineral, which is an antifungal. It's actually copper. Copper is a very important mineral in the body because it carries electrical current. We all know about copper wires. And so copper is an antifungal. And if it's out of balance in the body, we'll have fungus in the body. And that, I'm telling you, is probably the underlying cause of the cracks in your feet. I know that's terribly troublesome for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, Nick, would you tell us the depth or the intensity of the discomfort that you have with your feet?
I would put it at about a 6 or a 7. Now it does heal itself,
Right.
you know, in time, but then it reappears and heals and reappears and heals because it keeps going back and forth. And it really depends where on the foot it is. You know, in some cases it's more discomfort. Some places it's like an 8. It's really painful. In some cases it's only like a 4. But you know, on the average, I would say it's close to a 6 or a 7.
Could you tell us where that is on your feet, Nick?
Yeah, there's 3 places where it happens. The most painful place is on the side of the foot, right below the smallest toe, and it just happens in the same place each time. And then the second place is between the big toe and the second toe, sort of in the groove. And then the third is right at the ball of my foot. What'll happen is that the skin will crack there. It'll start to peel. And sometimes I will aggravate it by peeling it myself, and I shouldn't. But even if I don't, as I walk, especially if I walk barefoot, it'll peel itself. And it just feels like you're constantly stepping on a pointy rock whenever you walk. And I it's okay when I'm wearing shoes, but if I'm not wearing shoes, really it's quite painful.
How long has that been going on, Nick?
Every winter since I was probably about 20 years, because my grandmother was still alive. She had the same problem, and we would laugh about it, that her and I were having the same issues despite the huge age gap. And she's been gone 9 years, so at least a decade.
Thank you.
Definitely longer.
So what I know from my experience is that kind of situation is generally due to fungus that's been in your body since you were young, and possibly you were born with it. I do a lot of analysis on babies, young children, and they are so incredibly toxic. But because they are young, it doesn't appear that they're sick, although sometimes it does. But we can be born with actually more toxicities and infections than our mother. There's a process that I don't have time to go into today, but it's really interesting. So infections lead to fatigue. Nick, wouldn't it be awesome if you didn't have any cracks in your feet anymore and your energy was good? How would you feel about that?
That'd be perfect opportunity to fix that.
We can fix it. There is no question that that can be fixed. And what that will do also, the program that I will design for you, and we'll go into that in 2 weeks when we come back and do a recap and tell you everything. What we will do is shift things so that you will not have that overeating issue. It's not that you have no discipline, Nick. I have worked with thousands of people, and those who carry a few extra pounds or think they overeat are usually people that are more disciplined than those who don't have those issues. So it's not a matter of discipline. It's a matter of food choices. And I'm sure you feel like you're making the best food choices, but there are things that I will point out to you maybe later in 2 weeks more. But right now, I'm going to say, do you eat a high fat or a low fat diet, Nick?
I'm in the process of actually changing from a high fat to a low fat. So
Okay.
I'm actually my diet. My problem with food is I'm hungry. I'm craving food all the time. So, and then sometimes I'm eating subconsciously. I woke up the other morning. I literally woke up standing over a bowl of cereal.
Oh, wow.
And I was eating it and I was like, when did I make cereal? I did it in my sleep. So I think I'm actually eating in my sleep and I don't know it. And probably just like snack or like a potato chip or something. But like, I think that's what's happening.
Well, Nick, one of my other specialties I didn't mention is identifying metabolic rates. And you have indicated that there's a possibility, not yet a diagnosis, of hyperthyroidism, meaning too fast. And I can tell you from what I've seen and talked to you just briefly, that you have a fast metabolism, which requires a completely opposite dietary program from those who are slow metabolizers. And usually people think that if you have a few extra pounds, you're a slow metabolizer. That is completely untrue. 50% of the people who have a few extra pounds are fast metabolizers, and they're eating all wrong. Sometimes they eat like a bird and keep gaining weight. But that idea of never feeling satisfied, I've been there, Nick. I've been a fast metabolizer, and I've got mine much more balanced now. But it's like you finish eating, and you might not even be finished eating, and you're still ravenously hungry. Isn't that true?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I have right now. So I'm hungry.
I know. I totally get that. I totally get that. So I'm going to hold off on a lot of the recommendations here because I need to start going right into exactly what we're going to do with the scan. So I'm going to give you a call, Nick, because I will need to have you on your smartphone and holding it to your ear while we do this analysis, because it has to get to you in order for it to work. So I'm calling you right now on my phone. And
okay.
Are you picking up?
Yep, I answered.
You're answered. Okay. So I will turn on this device and let me show the audience what we're doing here.
And if I'm
This
not
is-
mistaken, Nick needs to put the phone by his ear, correct?
We will. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So this is a device that we're using, and it's called the AO scanner. And I am a trainer for that. So I can help people who want to have it for themselves, get trained into it. So Nick, you will probably hear, a little sound. It'll come through your phone. I don't think that the people will hear it here, because if you hold it to your ear. And tell me now if you hear something very soft. Like a little rrr thing.
Yeah.
So what this is doing, for the sake of the audience, I'm going to explain. This is what I was saying, we would produce ideal frequencies. And these ideal frequencies are projected into Nick's brain, and his body is simultaneously offering either a resistance or an acceptance. And so we are going through the various systems of the body and its functions. So this is analyzing how the blood is working, how the cells are working, what the chakras and meridians are, how if they're in balance. And it will identify all the organs and their functions. And it will identify the pathogens, the bacteria, the viruses. Well, it's finished. Now, Nick, you can leave your phone to your head, because we're going to send you the corrective frequencies right now. Is that too loud, Nick?
It wasn't loud. It felt like an injection almost.
That's right. That's a healing frequency. And it's literally changing the functioning of your body. So it's going through all the functions that I mentioned before, including others I didn't mention: the liver, the kidneys, the heart, the inflammatory markers. There's a comprehensive blood profile, everything you can get from a medical doctor and a lot more. It's the most advanced thing out here in terms of analysis and frequencies. This program initially cost about $50,000. It's so, I don't even want to say how low it is now. I knew we were coming to the end, Nick, so you can put your phone down. Thank you. So, Nick, what I'm doing now is I'm going to email that to you.
Okay.
So that you have that report, complete report, in your email box.
Okay.
And we won't go over it today because we don't have that kind of time. But we're going to go over it the next time when we get together. So we're going to go ahead and do another scan. And Joanne, keep me on track here. Am I on time track now?
Yes, we are good. We have about a little less than 7 minutes for this one.
Oh, super. Well,
that commercial break. Yeah, perfect.
This is a very short scan. Actually, I'd like to do 2 or 3 more scans depending on our time. So, Nick, we're going to analyze your voice now.
Okay.
So you will speak and you will say, "I am," and then you will say your full name, but don't say "my name is," say "I am." And it's only 10 seconds, a 10-second recording. So you can talk about anything. You can talk about Joanne, you can talk about the weather, you can talk about your foot. It's only 10 seconds. I'll tell you when to stop. And I'll tell you when to start.
Talk about me.
I'll tell you when to start, Nick. I'm going to count down. And after I say 0, then you say, "I am Nick Rafter." Okay?
Okay.
And you keep on talking.
Okay.
Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I am Nick Rafter. I used to suffer from chronic knee pain, but through working with Joanne, I have solved that problem, and I haven't had.
Okay, stop. Thank you. Great testimonial. Now it's going to scan you again. Nick, would you put your phone to your head right now real quick? Thank you. Forgot to tell you that one. So what this has done is this has done an analysis of your voice. Now your voice is a reflection of your emotions and your thoughts. It's frequency. And we'll go over this report in 2 weeks. It's fascinating because it will identify the 4 tones that are the most out of balance in your body. Now you might say, "I'm not out of balance," but we all are. None of us is perfectly balanced, or we wouldn't be here on the planet. gaining spiritual experience, right? So it has finished. You can take your phone down. And I will send you that report later because it actually takes a few minutes to send that report. And I want to use our time effectively here. So we're going to do something now called, and you're going to need your phone to your head again. We're going to do a scan of all the systems of your body, the circulation, the digestion, the hormones, the lymph, the connective tissue, the musculoskeletal, the nervous system, the respiratory. We didn't even talk about your breathing issues, and urinary, skin, eyes and ears, chromosomes, and the cells and the mitochondria. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Could take all of our 7 minutes up now, Joanne. So we'll just hang in there with it.
Okay, we're less than 7 minutes though at this point.
But it won't take that long.
Yes.
So now it's analyzing your circulation. And it's giving information, Nick, about what emotions of yours are impacting your circulation. And then it will give suggestions on what you can do. It will identify physical causes. It'll identify infections that are at the basis of circulatory issues for you. And it'll go through each one of the systems like that, identifying the emotional causes that are underlying what's going on with you, because there always are. What happens with emotions and thoughts, Nick, and you probably know this, is that if they're even the slightest bit not positive, they can weaken our immune system, and that allows pathogens to come in. And that's why I say that pathogens are at the basis, that and mineral deficiencies and our emotions, it's all at the basis of what happens physically. We're so privileged in our time frame now to have so many millions of people aware that emotions and thoughts impact us in a physical way. But to have the technology to be able to shift that without forcing it, that's the key. Because with this technology, I'm going to give you tools, Nick, so that you can simply listen to sound therapy and use color therapy to shift your emotions that will affect your physical body. This is astounding. I mean, it's not that this is the first time color and sound therapy have come out, but putting it all together in one package that's so simple and quick and easy, that's what's astounding and so accessible to everyone. Everyone can do this in their own home. It's amazing. So we are getting close to being finished, about 2/3 finished. So I think we'll come into our time frames, okay, Joanne?
Awesome.
Let's see, what else can I tell you? Well, now it's hitting on respiration. So you had mentioned that you had difficulty breathing. I want to mention something that I know about that. You probably have fungus in your lungs too. It's very common. I was shocked when I first found out what was inside of me. When I found out that I had microscopic parasites in my brain that were infiltrating into the nerves in my brain, it explained a lot about what was going on with me. And now I have the technology to get rid of these things. It's amazing what we can learn about ourselves. But I suspect, Nick, that there hasn't been someone who has the multiplicity of tools that I have, who has worked with you, that has been able to nail certain things. Because I know I'm right on about what I'm saying with you, because I've seen thousands of people. So we're at the very end. What's our time like, Joanne?
We're just hitting that 3:40 mark right now.
Isn't that awesome? Nick, you can take your phone down. Go ahead, take your phone down, Nick. Actually, we can disconnect on the phone, Nick.
Okay.
Perfect. That was just
Thank you,
perfectly
Joanne. So
timed.
I should just say that people can connect with me at my email address, which is Terry, my first name, Terry, Terry at morsewellness.com. Morse is like Morse code, MORSE wellness.com. Terry at morsewellness.com. Is that okay, Joanne?
That's perfect. That's perfect. And there should be a flyer that has both Nick's and Terry's information on it. And Nick, let our viewers know how they can reach you as well.
You can reach me at nickrafter@gmail.com or via my website, nickrafterwrites.com.
Excellent, excellent. So with that being said, we're going to take that quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to do Terry's going to do like a give and take 5 or 10 minutes of a conclusion of what just took place here. And then we'll go forward. So we'll be right back.
If you are turned off by conventional medicine and their mantra, do you want meds for that? There's a better option. I'm Gabriella Mihalichin, medical intuitive and healer. Let me help you find the root cause of your illness and guide you through healing. My intuitive method directs your body to heal itself and removes barriers to healing. I invite you to schedule a session today at alivehealthsolutions.com.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm CJ. The Author's Porch is a community where you find good books and good people. We collaborate with services that deliver quality to authors and publish a magazine for authors by authors. Come by, let us feature you or review your book. Coffee is always on, and no matter what time you arrive or where you come from, the porch light is always on.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are watching Joanne's Healing Within, and I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest here. I always say we because I feel like I'm a part of it, but Dr. Terry Morse has just conducted a healing demonstration with Nick Rafter, and they're going to share some insight to what just took place here. So for those of you who are just tuning in, remember to like, share, and comment. And of course, you'll have to come back later to watch the very beginning because it's definitely worthwhile watching. And know that the two of them will be back on 2 weeks from today to do a conclusion and a follow-up of what took place. So Terry, if you would like to just give a conclusion of what took place today, and then Nick can share some of his feedback.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Joanne. So what we did is a short interview with Nick to identify what symptoms he was experiencing, among them high blood pressure and fatigue and some bloating and some anxiety, although a lot of that has decreased by working with you, Joanne. And then we did a scan using this device here, which is called an AO scanner. And we did 3 different scans for Nick. One was an analysis of the voice, and one was an analysis of every single functioning of his body, function of the organs, etc. And the third one was all the different body systems and what were the underlying causes of any of them being out of balance, including emotional causes and mental causes and infection causes. So we will go in 2 weeks, be back again to review the results of that and give Nick some suggestions. But Nick, I'd love to hear from you. What were you feeling while this was going on and afterwards?
There were certain urges to stretch my arm, to stretch my leg, to take deep breaths. And that's just what the body do whatever it needed to do. But it felt as if there were commands being told to my bodily functions, and the body was like, all right, like following the commands. It felt like a doctor saying, take a deep breath, a doctor saying, stretch out your arm. But it was all just sort of like in the ethos, so to speak. And there was a point where I started feeling a lot looser. like as if I just did stretches, which I thought was interesting.
And Nick, initially, I think in the beginning when we started that, you felt something like, I don't know if you used the word sharp.
Yeah, it felt like an injection, like almost like a vaccine. Like it felt like a prick. And each time you started the scan, it felt like that. I was prepared for it the other time, so I didn't make a big thing. But yeah, but initially it felt like a shock.
And if I can say something based on what Nick just shared for the two of you, Terry, where exactly are you located right now while this is taking place?
I'm about 60 miles west of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay, and Nick, where exactly are you right now?
I am in Long Island, and that's
yeah. So ideally, just to point out that this energy work, I'm going to call it energy work, healing work, is very possible in the distance. That Terry does not need to be directly next to Nick to administer this work. So for those of you who might be feeling a little skeptical on, well, will this really work if we're that far apart, if she's in another town and he's in another town? Obviously, yes, because based on what Nick just shared about what he was feeling while Terry was doing her demonstration. So thank you both for sharing that.
Thank you, Joanne. That's a very good clarification. And Nick, you're a very good subject because, you were intentional and attentive. And if a person isn't, they may be unaware of those things. But thank you for being present to that, because I've seen many people who can feel those things from a distance, and they don't even know that I'm doing it sometimes, because I can do things without being connected to people by a phone. But they can feel it, and they say, were you working on me an hour ago? And I say, yes, I was.
Excellent. I love this. And again, like we've said in the segment before, for those of you who might have not have been there, Terry and Nick will both be back here in 2 weeks to do a follow-up of what took place today. And of course, Terry's going to probably be speaking to Nick behind the scenes in regards to certain things that he will probably be doing in retrospect to what took place today. And he'll be able to come back and share some amazing insight to what took place during these 2-week period before we do come back in 2 weeks. So again, I would love Terry just to share your contact information to where people can reach you should they wish to contact you.
That would be awesome. Yes, my name is Terry Morse, and that's my email address, terry@morsewellness.com. Morse is M-O-R-S-E, like Morse code, and Terry has a Y on the end, T-E-R-R-Y. So it's terry@morsewellness.com. And I should say, Joanne, I didn't check with you, but for anyone who is listening here, I'm running a promotion for people at a 50% discount for my services at this point. So people can take advantage of that.
Perfect. And Nick, for you, if you can just share one of your contact information.
NickRafter@gmail.com or NickRafterWrites.com. You can contact me through there.
Awesome. So again, everyone who's been watching up until now, if you didn't catch the very beginning where the demonstration took place, please know that you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Roku on demand. So you could definitely come back and watch this and check out what Terry has actually done through this demonstration, and come back in 2 weeks to check it out as well, to hear the feedback that Nick's going to have based on this amazing demonstration. I want to thank the two of you for being here today with me, as we are going to take a commercial break, and I will be coming back with the conclusion of today's show and a really big announcement. So I want you all to stay tuned for that big announcement. Again, Terry, Nick, thank you so much for being here with me today. I truly appreciate this amazing demonstration that took place. We're going to take that commercial break.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR, @gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hi, my name is Lisa Nice, and I'm an independent beauty consultant for Mary Kay. I'm also a single mom of 5 and a physical therapist, so I love Mary Kay because it fits so nicely into my lifestyle. New year, new you. I'm looking for 15 faces, and it's a free either facial or a glam look. You get free samples, and you get entered to win a $200 Beautiful Kate Spade bag. So if anything about this commercial has interested you, like number 1, the opportunity, number 2, be a face. So call me, 908-546-0266. Try it, you're gonna love it.
Hi everyone, I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Colon. And if you are just tuning in, oh my God, you've missed an amazing healing demonstration today, as my amazing guest, Dr. Terry Moss, had demonstrated a body frequency analysis and healing demonstration with Nick Rafter, who was transparent today, but you're gonna definitely have to come back and watch from the very beginning so you can see how this is done and how it can actually help you. Because I do keep all of you in mind when I bring on my guests who do healing demonstrations. So with all that being said, know that you can watch these shows on Twitter, YouTube, of course here on Facebook, and Roku as well. So do some promos for right now, big promo. We have a few amazing people who do amazing work on the outside, and I'm just going to mention a few of them. There's flyers for each one. Should you need to reach out to them for any additional information, their information is on the flyer. Please take note, screenshot it if you need. So we're going to start off with Joe Monkman. He's our he does spirit messages and energy insights the first Tuesday every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we also have Intuition of the Soul, hosted by Kitty Foss and Amy Martin. They have amazing programs. One of my favorite takes place on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information, remember, check out their flyer. Then we also have Louisa Caterino. I hope I said that right. She has an amazing shop. It's called Narcissa Glam Boutique. For more information, check out her flyer as well. And Joanne's Healing Within has amazing advertising opportunities for everyone who's interested in getting in front of a different audience. So if that is you, please, please, please message me, email me, whatever it is for more information. Information's on the flyer as well. And let's see, have I got one more to go for as my guest, my volunteer today, Nick Rafter. He's going to help you find your place with Nick. He buys, he sells, and he rents. So if you are looking for that new place to be, reach out to Nick. Information on his flyer. All right. Can I have a drum roll? I need a drum roll. I need a drum roll. Drum roll, please. Big announcement. Super, super excited about this. As I've been mentioning, you can watch the show on Roku, Twitter, YouTube, of course, here on Facebook. And there's a new place you're going to be able to see me. I'm super, super, super excited. Joanne's Healing Within now airs on Optimum TV, Optimum Long Island TV. I think I said that right. Maybe backwards. Who the hell knows? But there's a flyer right there. Every Thursday, starting this Thursday, 2 p.m., channel 115. So yes, for all of you, what is it, Nassau and Suffolk community, you'll be able to catch me every Thursday. This Thursday is the first show. I'm super excited, and big shout out to Bobby for helping me put this together. So all that being said, guys, I'm going to be on holiday next week. I'll be back here in 2 weeks, and that puts us on April 24th. As mentioned, I'm going to have Terry and Nick back on to do a follow-up based on today's healing demo. You definitely do not want to miss it. And again, any one of you out there who are interested in becoming an advertising sponsor, offers a guest opportunity, please go ahead and reach out to me. Here's a flyer. I'm sure Bobby don't mind putting it back up. You can reach out to that email, healingwithin76@gmail.com. Until then, enjoy in 2 weeks. Bye-bye for now.